Welcome, Taurus, to your January 2023 reading. Happy New Year. Let's go ahead and start in the reading. This is Tree of Life spread. The tree is on the top of the tree is here. Branches, then you get to the trunk of the tree. And then, of course, over here we have the root of the tree. However, because it is Tree of Life, it goes back in the reverse. And then, of course, the roots are actually considered to be on top of the tree, which has the roots going into heaven. I have more about that in my other videos if you'd like to see it in my channel. Thank you again for joining me today. Let's go ahead and start the reading. Right here, we're going to start with the issue. So the issue here we have is basically a major arcana card, strength, right? But we have it in the reversal, which means here, in this case, because it is considered to be in the reversal, it's actually considered to be as if you're having some kind of struggle, you're having some kind of just basically struggle in maintaining your sense of um, of where you're at, of the grounding that you have, some kind of difficulty you're having. So you're kind of wanting to make sure that you're not in any way any kind of potential danger, because usually here with the strength card, it means you're in control of that, you're not scared of that. But over here, when it's in the reverse, it gives you a different sense of maybe being not in not danger, but something harmful situation, maybe even toxic situation. So you have to kind of pay attention to your own your own needs, but you're definitely maintaining to struggle a sense of self. So let's see why that is, where you're kind of feeling like you're not kind of sure-footed here. Right here, we have the Ten of Wands. Okay, the Ten of Wands here, it is considered, let me see if I can get it a little bit better here, just so you can kind of see it. Perfect. It's a better position there. And it's a card of it's highly associated with basically feelings of intense pressure and kind of being overwhelmed a little bit about things right now. So it gives you possible things suggested by this card that can be suggested, like possible feelings that you're being having, a feeling like you can't get out of a situation, maybe a little bit trapped, but it's an overall kind of negative feelings that you've been feeling pressure about. So let's see why you're feeling not sure-footed and then feeling pressure about something here. This could also be dealing with it could be dealing with your partner, your significant other, your boyfriend, girlfriend, right? It could be dealing with either a Leo, which is a fire sign, or, Aries, of course, or Sagittarius. And then, of course, you have also Libra showing up over here in the area where you have to kind of have difficulties as well. So we'll get to that in a moment. But in the number 3 position here, we have the Eight of Wands. Now, the Eight of Wands in this position tells me what you kind of have created or starting to create. You're kind of wanting to create things that are kind of making yourself more assured of your footing of where you're at, more successful. This is definitely a card that stands for some sort of, I'm sorry, right there. Yeah, this suggests some sort of kind of reaching some goals that you have. It definitely a card that stands for also maybe for some of you for travel or journey. It does suggest though that there are events that are going to be kind of moving quickly, kind of new opportunities showing up that are going to be helping you, while also helping you overcome some of these feelings here, these negative feelings that you have, and also some of the blockages because of these negative feelings that you've been having. Right, so in number 4 position here, we have what's giving you the energy to build. Well, the latest and major arcana card is a High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess here, as you can tell, she's has a negative and a positive side, kind of like a polarity, right? So it's giving you that balance that you kind of have to reach as the High Priestess. The High Priestess is basically a card which indicates that something is kind of hidden. Something's kind of hitting within you, but it is kind of preparing to come out. So it is kind of like your inner world of dreams, possibly imagination. Also, kind of intuition is very important right now. It is also a card of spirituality for some of you. Might be kind of like using that intuition that we have as women, or just in general as human beings. But it is full of wisdom and kind of a mystery as well. But it is definitely dealing with also, for some of you, this journey of self-discovery. Okay, so it goes hand in hand with the with this card as far as in this spread here, where you're kind of trying to look at your intuition and look within, so you're not feeling so overpressured and maybe not as sure-footedness here. But it looks like you're trying to create that success now. You're trying to create that new journey that you're trying to embark on, whether it be a new job, in a relationship, etc. Right here is in this position here, and then with the fifth position is kind of where you have to dissolve. We have the Three of Swords in this area here. The Three of Swords is considered to be kind of like an air sign, like Libra, for example. You know, Gemini, Aquarius. So it's a card that kind of tells you you've been hurt. You've been kind of going through a lot of intense pain, maybe a separation, a breakup with your significant other, which again, it seems like it might be an air sign. With this card tends to be considered to be a Libra sign. So this is very indicative of air sign qualities in your former relationship that you had with your boyfriend or girlfriend. In the sense of separation and breakup, you know, it was kind of overwhelming for you. This card also means that you might feel isolated or cut off from something, from them maybe, that you loved, or way of life. And for some of you that didn't have a partner that you broke up with, it could be just you're feeling kind of cut off from your home or family, or even a philosophy or pursuit of a job that you've been trying to get. So in that more in general terms, but usually that does mean that you have been through a breakup and you're kind of trying to get your footing back. So right here, just telling you, you kind of dissolve this situation here where you're feeling so broken up that it's kind of hard for you to kind of keep going. It's kind of giving you like a stumbling block a little bit. So it's kind of telling you got to dissolve that feeling now. It's time to heal. It's time to, to move on best you can. Kind of take the lesson and just kind of learn from that separation and the breakup. And, that sense of just kind of pain, and feeling isolated as well. You're not alone. You do have family and friends around you. Right here, it is very indicative, as you see in the surrounding cards. This card in the middle it's kind of like the synergy of the reading. So it's a major arcana card. I'm sorry, a minor arcana card is the King of Cups. As you can see here, we have the King of Cups. Now the King of Cups here, it does indicate a man, as you can see here. It's kind of like a father figure, really. Let me see if I can get a better vision on focus on here. Perfect. Right here. And then the way you can see it a little better, you can see it's a King of Cups. He's definitely a king that's very benevolent. He's like a father figure, basically, in your life. It could be your father. It could be somebody that you consider like a father that's been giving you counsel, trying to get you through this. So it's definitely somebody you can rely on. And it does show that he has a lot of strength in that role. And also just a lot of kind of certainty, that he gives you a little bit more assurity of what your situation is, or at least gives you a firm background, as far as like a firm grounding as that you can feel that he has for you. You can be dependent on, he can be kind of like a rock and be relied upon. So it's a really, really good card to have. When you need him, he's there. But it could also mean for some of you that it's just you being able to make those hard decisions yourself as well. Being able to come back to that sure-footedness and kind of being able to do that in the future pretty soon if you haven't already. Now right here in this position is the victory position. For the victory card, we have the Tower. Now the Tower here, as you can see, it's in the reversal, because when a tower is in the reversal, it's kind of indicating at a deeper level that you're being prepared for the changes that must happen in order for something else to take place. So some things must end in order to begin, kind of chapter. But also, when things are falling apart, doesn't always mean that they're falling apart. They're actually falling into place, as painful as it might be. But once you altered also your way of thinking, for some of you, it could be that you altering that way of thinking and kind of not having that limited view of certain things will give you that sense of freedom that you're looking for. So in order to get over this situation a little better and be more victorious over it, you will have to kind of look at things a little differently, from a different perspective, not a fixed view, and seeing things maybe even, like they said, from a different perspective, where things are not falling apart, but they're actually falling into place in order to make you go towards a path that you need to go to. Now right here reveals what you want. This is a minor arcana card. This is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles. He's very. Let me see if I can get a better view right there. Perfect. That way you can kind of see the Knight of Pentacles on his horse with the pentacle. That's all he's holding right there. You can see that he suggests that it's a situation involving arrivals and departures, somebody arriving or somebody leaving. It could also be you starting a new job or leaving a new job. It's definitely kind of some kind of movement dealing with the monetary status or financial status. So it could be work related as well. And then you're experiencing those changes, right? So in those life changes in your life, where you're either leaving or starting a new job or going towards somewhere, traveling to go to a new job for some of you. But it's definitely about possessions and security. This card also is a card of the Knight that is considered to be dependable and honorable, right? So if he's considered to be dependable and honorable, he also has that sense of incredible determination. So this is something that you're kind of striving to be. You're striving to be kind of like in a better position with your job. You're striving to be in that movement that you like, that, to keep going forward, either from one location or another, in order to make things happen. So you're starting to get that oomph in your step, right? So that you can go ahead and get that sense of keeping going with that incredible determination, that characteristic the Knight has. You kind of want to pick up on that yourself. This kind of reveals what you want to be able to do to just keep going forward past this situation here. We were feeling a little stuck and you've gone through some turmoil. Right here is the trunk of the tree. Now the trunk of the tree tells me how others see you or how you see yourself. Okay, so right here we have a minor arcana card, right? It's actually the King of Pentacles. It does represent a very mature man. The King of Pentacles, very sure-footed, very balanced in his wealth. He's actually very worldly, but he also symbolizes somebody that's growing a lot. So right now, these things that you're going through, you're growing a lot. You're going through a lot of growing pains, yes, but you are growing and learning lessons from it in an ever kind of like growth, kind of personal growth period, right? So right here, it could also be that you're just starting to handle money matters as well, right? As you can see, he shows signs of success and wealth in this card. You can see it, but also personal growth, like I said before. But because it does deal with pentacles, it does deal a lot with your security, financial security that you're kind of looking at. And then, of course, attaining your goals in general. And some requiring some self-exploration in order for you to reach these goals. And of course, you'll have to have a commitment on your part in order to do it. So you will have to commit to whatever you have to do in order to reach those goals that you kind of have your mind set to. But part of that is that self-exploration, the kind of looking within and reflecting. And then in the root of the tree, what is kind of radiating out, we have the Major Arcana card, the Moon. Now the Moon here, as you can see, the Moon card is telling you to pay attention to your dreams, your intuition, because the Moon is very much about your intuition and kind of looking within and following your gut, right? Following your spirituality, you're praying, you're just doing all of those kind of things as well. But you're definitely following your gut, your intuition. It's really important. Now the Moon, though it has, even if it's full moon, it doesn't light the path completely. So you can't see your path, completely as you go along. That's where your intuition comes into play. And you kind of have to see, kind of making sure that you kind of see where you're stepping next. Because the Moon can also display some things that are hidden. So some things are not quite what they seem to be, or can be a little bit confusing. But it does also suggest the presence of risks or secrets that are kind of about, because you can't see everything. Like I said, the Moon isn't lighting your way completely. So there could be a little bit of even mental confusion in this case, because you're not sure what's going on or what is not going on in certain areas. So it just kind of warns you to take caution Be careful with whatever endeavor you are kind of pursuing in your life. Don't just jump into it, because you do have to count on your intuition and your faith, but also just in your common sense. I'm kind of like, okay, let me watch my next step before I make that. Okay, and let's go ahead here and pick another card just for 11th position here to see just if we can go ahead and get a little more clarity on the situation. And we have the Six of Wands. Okay, the Six of Wands here, it represents, having triumph over a certain situation, over, like this breakup that you're just going through, this period of not being so self-assured, right? So now this is kind of giving you basically telling you you've met the challenges, to your position, or your position at work, for example. There's a reputation that's gone through. There's looking at everything that you're doing. You're kind of doing it with flying colors. It definitely says just a person that's feeling exalted because of winning and finding the inspiration needed to move forward. So it looks like you found that inspiration to move forward, or you're finding it and other people are noticing it. So the good news is the overall feeling, in the presence of this card. So it's basically the positive feeling that you're having and moving forward, being successful in order to get through this situation here. So right here we have the column of severity, and over here the column of mercy. As you can see in the column of mercy, it's on the right side of the deck here. You can see a little bit of some of the nuances that kind of go through the column of mercy. And over here, the column of severity, as you can see, some of the nuances here where you have a lot of pain. And then, of course, in the middle, we have the pillar of harmony. As you go back up the pillar of harmony, you can get another perspective, or a more clear perspective of what your situation has been, or what you're kind of going through here, and what can make it a little better and more positive, perspective in your end, to kind of get through the situation a little bit more smoothly. As you see, you have the moon here. Let's see, we said that we had the moon. So the moon here at the root of the tree, that tells me that, remember, you have to kind of counter your intuition, look within, kind of reflect, look at things a little more clearly. Take a little bit caution, because the moon doesn't light your full path. So you are counting on the intuition to kind of get you through it. Then right here, you want to become, or either see, or you see yourself as that King of Pentacles, where he's very sure-footed. He's very represents a mature man, the wealthy kind of courageous person, and kind of those characteristics that are symbolized there. And he does show those signs of success, but also of that personal growth. So it's all about that personal growth, looking inside of yourself, getting through the situation, taking the lesson, and not let the lesson become you or define you, but rather just kind of learning from it. And then, of course, we have the Knight of Pentacles, that you kind of want to keep going forward. You want to have that movement, that new job, that positive. It deals a lot with the job as well, and not just the heartbreak that you have gone through. And of course, right here, in order for you to be successful, you will have to see things from a different perspective. So not seeing things as they're falling apart, but maybe as they're falling into place, in order to help you continue your journey forward and into whatever your goals are that you are setting. And definitely set the goals so that you know where you're heading. And of course, getting through this pain that you have here with either Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, it's just different air sign, and kind of getting through that, and just kind of knowing that not one or the other had the blame, but just kind of a shared blame, but also not taking it all on yourself, because it does signify that, that significant separation and that sadness that you felt, that loneliness you felt from that breakup. But it's kind of a card reminding us, okay, now it's time to kind of move on, learn from that lesson, and and keep yourself with family and friends. Don't be isolated, so don't be alone. This card is also representing kind of loneliness, so don't remain alone. You have a lot of backup. You have a very strong center here with this father figure. This man giving you counsel. If it's not your father, it could be another friend, or a male friend giving you positive counsel. Or you're feeling that kind of backing, that they're trustworthy and looking for your best interest, and keeping your best interest in mind. And then, of course, as you go up here, just getting this area where you're feeling the pressure, kind of releasing that and dissolving that, and continuing right here where it says things are rapidly succeeding. It looks like they're starting to speed up and like become more to fruition. So you'll probably be hearing from either position. It looks like it's a lot, very much job related because of the pentacles that we got here a lot towards the bottom. And then of course that way, hopefully you'll be able to turn this card of strength upside up and let it be what it usually is, which is a very much a card of exploration, of moral courage, of just being able to even put your hand down the lion's mouth because you know they won't hurt you because you have that collaboration or that strength in yourself to know that you're not going to get hurt because you do have that relationship with this lion, and the lion kind of has your back at this point. A lion, again, it could also be somebody that's, maybe the male figure here, because it shows with these orange cards here, kind of shows a little bit of a correlation between the maybe male Leo, possibly fire sign, with that Aries or Sagittarius or Leo. But it's definitely showing that that it's time when faith, you have faith in yourself, and then it will pay off. So basically, hopefully that will happen by you looking at things in a different perspective, letting go of this situation here because it's time to move forward. And right here, just showing that moving forward, like with the horse here, you can see with this Six of Wands, again with the fire sign, a lot of Leo, a lot of fire sign right here in these two areas, just telling you to move forward. You have the strength to do it. You have the backing to do it. You have the friends to do it, family or friends that are backing you. So you're not alone. You can get through this. So I'm hoping this is giving you a more positive perspective of your situation. And please subscribe so I know that you do want me to continue making these videos for next month. And also, if you can give it a like, that would help out my channel as well. Please, feel free to share these also with a friend that you think might have something in their situation that might resonate with them, and maybe give them a more positive view of their situation as well. We're just trying to keep the more positive views of our situations because we can always take something and learn from it. And even though we go through some things, not letting those things define us, but us taking the strength that we have from within and kind of transform them into something more of like a lesson as opposed to something that will define you, and have your own definition of what your transformation is leading you to. So I'm hoping this is giving you a very positive aspect of your whatever situation you are going through, if any of this resonates with you. And I wish you the best of luck and lots of blessings this month, and a lot in all areas of your life, and sending you much peace, love, and light. Thank you. See you soon.